In a horror film, what do you find most effective about its location?
I think in a horror film it has to be either quite realistic or the complete opposite, so it's really creepy, so something in the woods or something like that. But for me, I think something more realistic, like the house or something that you would see in everyday life, makes it more effective because it makes it feel more real.
In an opening sequence for a horror film, what do you think needs to be included?
I think if you're going to have text and font, things like that has to be considered. So it has to be, it has to fit with the same genre. So it has to look similar to the genre of horror. So typography is quite important in terms of that. But if you were to kind of have an open sequence more so about kind of telling the story, I think to engage someone into the film, it would be good to see something in the beginning that maybe either shocks you or some surprises you or something like that. So you want to know more, so you want to carry on watching it.
And in a horror film, what scares you the most?
I think not knowing. So when a lot of suspense, I mean, I prefer suspense horror films more than kind of gore and everything. So I think things like kind of waiting and not knowing what's happening and the suspense and the build-up makes it's more scary because you don't want to watch it, but then you do want to watch it. So I think that's kind of much more effective than it would be if there was just blood and gore and things like that.
Nowadays, do you think horror films should be more realistic or still based on the supernatural idea?
I think you can do, I don't think they're mutually exclusive. I think you can do both at the same time. You just got to be careful about how you do that. I mean, you know, Blair Witch is a case in point. It's supposed to feel like realism, even though it's based around something that's supernatural. Yeah.
Yeah.
And found footage horror films are all about that. They're supposed to feel like realism.
Have you seen any horror films recently that you've liked the look of and think that we could perhaps include aspects of them inside?
It's not technically a horror, I suppose it's more of a thriller, but 10 Cloverfield is phenomenal. In terms of mise-en-scène and establishing character, and character who is sinister, I would definitely recommend that. Especially if you're trying to create that sense of it being a thriller rather than a horror genre, which I think potentially, from the sound of your idea, that's what you're trying to create.
In post-production, such as editing, is there anything that we should perhaps include in that?
Well, it's got to be all about pace and how you use your sound effectively, I would say. And they're going to be vital to the way that you communicate mood and tone. And if you're putting jump scares in, you're not going to put a jump scare in without having effective sound work.
Finally, in a horror film, what scares you the most?
Not jump scares, ironically. Don't find them scary. It's all about mood and tone and environment. I'd much rather watch a film that pulls me in terms of the whole tone of the film than a cheap 5-second jump. I think anyone can do that. It takes a real master to make you scared all the way through because you don't want to be in the environment of the film for the whole length of the film.
Oh, well, thank you for the interview.
You're welcome.